The alpha didn't see you yet. Urgh. In this video, we'll talk about why Kamala Harris and Tulsi are literally the same person, never given a direct answer. Why Tulsi is literally pro-war, and she probably doesn't even know it. And our goal of the YouTube channel is to establish nation of humanity, destroy borders between countries. It's silly, but I want to do it. Let's hop into the video. Alright, our goal now is to exactly identify the problem so we can be able to understand all of our points and then comment on them. And first of all, it's most important to listen to them as accurately as possible. So that's why I'm going to try to refrain from commenting on videos, because I've done it in the previous points and it's just easy to miss things they're trying to say.
And so this is mainly towards Charlie Kirk, because I sort of know your views. Obviously, the topic of like foreign involvement, U.S. foreign involvement in foreign countries is a little contentious with conservatives right now. How would you balance supporting our allies and supporting, even if it unfortunately means we have to send troops in, with how would you balance that with also working on our supporting our own people?
I think this is actually a better question for Tulsi.
So, how do you balance external and internal support? So the resources are not infinite, right? So it's smart to put them where they matter the most. And it's a very valid question.
If that's okay. This is one of her passion topics. And Tulsi served and serves in our military. And so Tulsi, you want to take that?
Yeah, sure. I mean, this is personal for a lot of reasons. I still serve in the Army Reserve. I'm a lieutenant colonel and a battalion commander. I've deployed to 3 different war zones at different times over the last 20 years. I have friends who are deployed into combat zones today. I know Kamala Harris is not aware of their existence, which is both a sad and disastrous state of affairs that in and of itself disqualifies her to be our commander-in-chief. But I was talking to a friend of mine the other day who lost both of his legs in combat. And all of us who raise our hands and volunteer to serve in our military are willing to lay our lives down to ensure the safety, security, and freedom of the American people. What we do not sign up for is politicians who care more about feeding the military-industrial complex and the war machine.
Politicians who care more about feeding the war machine than what?
Than they do about our lives, but the safety and security of the American people's lives.
More than security?
What we need are leaders, and this is why I've endorsed President Trump in this election, who will always make those decisions in balancing. You asked a very good question. How do you balance the need for us to engage and stand with our allies and partners and put the American people's interests first? Every decision has to be made within the context of what serves the needs of the American people first. Period. And that includes our national security needs. That includes our liberty and our freedom, which is often on the line when we are in a state of war. The war machine takes advantage of that to try to take away more of our freedom. And it has to do with our economic well-being as well. If we have a president commander-in-chief who makes every decision about what's in the best interest of the American people, we won't go wrong.
And I'll just say one thing. We don't have to overcomplicate this. We should not send another dollar to Ukraine while our border is wide open. Period.
No money to Ukraine. Jeez. Well, let me ask you guys the problem. How do you balance external and internal support? You know, there are people of leadership. Did they answer the question in which you could judge and follow and implement? Or did they give you their agendas and really didn't say anything? Which one do you really think it is? But nevertheless, we're going to go over every single point and, you know, try to actually solve the problem to its maximum potential, abstracted, so we can see it better. All right, let's jump right into it. So, did they answer the question, which allows us to pursue it and ensure that people don't continue asking the question and they can be held accountable and it can be implemented in some which way? No, I believe not. Let's go over the first answer. I'm a military boss. You know, when she said this, I thought she's gonna give me the most clear answer with the exact exact law that she's implemented, or the law she's going to go with, or the plan she's gonna account to when she's talking about this problem, because she's a military sergeant of 3 times deployed and she's the bitch. But her answer was not reflecting her authority, which just makes me feel like this whole statement was just like a political school. They teach you that you have to be a person of authority when you're speaking to people. The sheep, that's probably how they see you. And yeah, that's why she blubbered this whole first sentence. It's nothing to do really with the problem. And then she goes on to talk about Kamala Harris. Yeah, well, that's nothing to do with the question again. But again, they don't want to answer the questions here. That's not their goal. My goal is to solve problems. That's why I want to do politics. I don't care about elections. I care about problems. And Kamala Harris, you know, she's talked about, yeah, she sucks. Yeah, I don't like her. Again, they're pushing her agenda, not answering the question, using these questions as a pusher for their agendas. Not super cool. Okay, then she talks about dude with no legs. You know, I have a friend with no freaking legs. How did this help us balance external and internal support? I'm not sure how a dude with no legs is going to help us. Again, then you ask your question, why is she talking about this? And then you think about it. She's a politician who is taught to build empathy and put authority over you. Not through solving problems, how you're supposed to have respect for other people, but through these fake measures. And she talked about this dude with no legs, and it really went nowhere. She said, freedom, country, America, fuck yeah. And yeah, it's kind of pointless. Alright, politicians who care more about feeding the war machine than more than our security. Okay, this one's really interesting because there's a lot of politicians that do enjoy feeding the war machine, and there's a lot of people who like politicians who like to do our security. But the problem is, what she said is literally the same thing. We don't want politicians who feed the war machine. We want politicians who feed the war machine. She literally kind of just repeated herself and really didn't say anything. And then again, I love Trump. Shout out to Trump. Well, I totally agree that if she has a person who she's excited to be elected to, you know, don't use these problem-solving videos where you think they're interacting with students, you know. Go make a cool little movie about Trump. Like, don't use schools and brainwash students about pointless things. Oh, and then she says the funniest thing ever, okay? So, how do you actually balance external and internal support? Okay, I feel like this is the first answer that she had that was kind of close to answering it. You put the U.S. interests first, and that's a period. And I thought, that's the complete opposite of, you know, how you solve this whole problem in the first place. I believe to solve this problem, you would have to look at it as a restate the question. You know, people, imagine she's just in the street and some naked dude comes up to her and says, take this red pill and you lose an inch of your cock. Take this blue pill and you lose an inch of your height. And which pill do you take? The correct answer is, the question is, do you deal with external support or internal support? The question is neither. It's the wrong question. And she's not able to even understand that. To solve this problem, you make all support internal support. You put everything under one flag. So do not have the division of people. Do we not see it otherwise? And the question is, we're as a country who's going to go into space, you know, if you saw my video on the infinite, approaching the infinite, you know, how humans are eventually like on a planet Earth and space is water and we're eventually going to transcend this universe and that's our ultimate goal. How's this actually serve? How's the internal, external support serving our country? We either survive or adapt. And I ask you, how is separating, putting everything in blocks, helping us achieve our goals? And it's not. It's a pointless topic. And separation is actually what's causing these wars. And that's her #1 focus. That's how you can tell how far away she is from the truth. Or even understanding what question to answer when a wrong question is asked. But it's whatever. And let's see what the next one. The war machine takes away freedom, but it also has to do with the economy. That's a really tricky question because she does not want to tell you that if we... Let's see, let me scroll down a little bit. Boom. Oh man. Well, basically, she's trying to say that I cannot tell you that the best thing for the economy is war. It's like the war machine is bad, but we also have to take care of the economy. It's a thing you can't tell the people, that the #1 way a country can produce money is war. And she can't say war, because nobody would vote for her. And the problem is, this problem comes down to that our aim, our god of this society is money. That's why war is one of the solutions to it. That's one of the greatest things that it is. As we change our definition of good, we can have other ways of pursuing resources. But we don't. We don't have a different aim. And we'll continue to make these mistakes. And then Kirk just screams, "No money to Ukraine!" I guess so, brother. But yeah, none of them really answer the problem. So, how do you actually solve this problem? Like how I talked a little bit before, it is a wrong question in the first place. We do not want to see the world as external and internal places if there's no reason for it. What purpose does it serve? You survive or adapt, and you can adjust all these ideas from the aim. And it really doesn't do anything. So that's why I understand it's a bad question. The right question would have been, how do you make United States only internal support so division can be taken away and our aims could be more accurate and we can balance everybody out better? Because what we do right now in this society by having external support and internal support, other nations and these nations, is that we're choosing a part of our body that we ignore. Because we're all on the same planet. If India fucks it up, they fuck us up. If China fucks it up, they fuck us up. We're all in the same part of a body. Like how funny would it be if you had a cut on your finger, said, damn, that's a bad cut, but you're the head, of course, right? You're the freaking yapping brain. And you're like, I don't care for my finger. I support the internal support of my brain, and I don't care about this finger. It's not part of me. Fuck him. And then you eventually, if your goal is health, and you eventually lose all your fingers because instead of dealing with them, you cut them out of your perception, that's not problem solving. That's the complete opposite of problem solving. And that's what they're pushing on these young students. You know, it's not the prettiest thing in the whole world. Alright. Thank you guys for watching another video. I hope to solve problems so they can be judged, added, implemented, and talked about more. These Tulsi and Kirk videos are super funny because they don't answer a single question correctly. Most of the videos I watch, they do a pretty good job, but there are good leaders, I'm sure, and they're good politicians. But they're slacking, and they just give me the fruit to make videos, and I will, because they're just so great, and I love problem solving, so it's cool. Also, part 3 is coming soon. Wait for it. Don't miss it out. Yeah.